Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurti Namaha. Namaste and good morning. And namaste also to our online audience. Welcome back to this session, which is the last session of our retreat on Dakshinamurti Stotra. This morning, after breakfast, when I entered my room, I had quite a remarkable sight which I saw. The room was blazingly lit up, so bright, unnaturally bright. What was happening was, and I realized that the sunlight, but it was falling on the lake, and there was a very powerful reflection on the lake. And the light from that reflected light from the lake was lighting up my room. What was the maximum light which was in the room was from that reflection, because the sun was at a higher angle there. Showing there by the reflected consciousness, the Chidabhasa, that is what lights up our life. Right now, for example, this brilliant experience we are getting, the shining experience of life, seeing, hearing, thinking, all the senses, our internal experience of being alive and alert. And this is because of Chidabhasa. This is the reflection of pure consciousness in our minds. And this is subject to increasing, decreasing, coming and going. One more observation I would like to put before us, before we go ahead, is most of us are initiated. We have got mantra diksha, we have an Ishta Devata and a mantra given by our Guru. So please remember Sri Ramakrishna's teaching about this. What is the relationship between this Dakshinamurti, Vedanta, which we are studying, Atma, Brahma, and our Ishta Devata? Sri Ramakrishna said very clearly, Jejar Ishto Shetar Atma. Whoever is your Ishta, that is your Atma. So when we are engaged in the mantra, japa of the mantra and meditation on the Ishta Devata, we are not doing anything different from this. Because people sometimes get an anxiety. So no, we have got two things in our lives, in our spiritual lives. One is the Ishta mantra and Ishta Devata, that's one thing. And the other thing is all this Vedanta. No, they're not two things. It's the same thing. How it is the same thing, it's a big, big topic. But anyway, it's the same thing. Sri Ramakrishna said, Jejar Ishto Shetar Atma. Whoever is your Ishta, that is the Atma for you. That is the self, which we are studying about here in Dakshinamurti Stotra. Now, moving on. 9th verse. So in these 10 verses, 8 verses contain the entire instruction. That's why sometimes it is called Dakshinamurti Ashtakam, 8 verses. But Shankaracharya composed 2 more verses, 9th and 10th, which sort of round off or finish the work. The 9th verse talks about this full-blown realization of the oneness of the universe, the oneness of the Atman. The whole universe is not different from you. It is you. We are all one reality. This culminating realization is talked about in the 9th verse. And the 10th verse is called Phalashruti. That means result. What is the result of the whole exercise? 9th verse. Bhurambhangsyanalo anilo ambaramaharnatho himangshu puman ityabhati characharamatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam Nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam yasmat parasmat vibho tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. To him whose eightfold body in all this moving and unmoving universe, appearing as earth, water, fire, air, akasha, the sun, the moon, and the soul, beyond whom, supreme and all-pervading, there exists nothing else for those who investigate, to him who is incarnate in the teacher, to him in the effulgent form facing the south, to him Shiva be this salutation. So, he says this Dakshinamurti has a universal form, this one, this universe which we are experiencing. And when you investigate, this is the totality. There's nothing more beyond this. This is how Dakshinamurti is appearing to us. To this universal form, who is none other than Dakshinamurti, this universe, who is none other than Dakshinamurti, none other than the Guru, I bow down. All right. So what's going on here? God, there are 4 conceptions of God in Vedanta. 4 ways in which God is conceived or understood in Vedanta. One is the purely personal. So, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, there is Krishna. And Krishna is God. And he says so in a number of times in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Aham, I. And sometimes he means himself as Krishna. And it's entirely valid to think of Krishna as God. This is the avatar conception. Personal God appearing in human history. At one time, he was not there. He appeared and taught or did whatever you're supposed to do, and then disappeared again. So this is avatar, incarnation. This is one conception of God, and perfectly valid. Krishna is an avatar. We say Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Rama is an avatar. Rama Krishna is an avatar. So is Ma Sharada. So, avatar appears in history. And that is God. Jesus Christ and others also. There are numerous avatars. They are personal. They have a form, they have a name, they have a time in history, they have a life which you read about, they have their teachings. And it is entirely valid to think of them as God. That is one. The second conception of God you get, again in the Bhagavad Gita itself it's there, as the creator, preserver, destroyer of the universe, as the omnipotent, omniscient, eternally there, not coming and going, always there. With form and without form, with form and formless. God's in his heaven and all's right with the world. I think Robert Browning said. So this God in his heaven, God is in heaven, God is in Vaikuntha, God is in Kailasha. God as Shiva. We see in Dakshinamurti also, God as Shiva. God as Narayana. In Bhagavad Gita we see Narayana, Vishnu. God as the Father in heaven. So this is the God of religion, theistic God. Religions which worship and believe in God, they worship this God. It is one. Avatars are many, but this God is one. It can be understood and worshipped and named in different ways, in different religions, but it is one. We can't have more than one infinitely powerful being creating, preserving and destroying the universe, because there's only one universe, this one. And we are all saying that the God is the creator of this universe. I'm not talking about physics, multiverse and all. Yeah. Even that can be considered as one universe, because when we talk about God as the creator, preserver, destroyer of the universe, we mean this universe. In that case, there's one universe, there must be one power. There can't be multiple, a committee. So, there is one God. And God is one, of whom there may be many avatars. So this God is also a personal God, because God has qualities. Is all-loving, merciful, just, compassionate, all-powerful, all glories, all knowledge, omnipresent everywhere. So this extremely, maximally powerful being, the philosophy of religion, they have used this term, the maximal being, maximally powerful, maximally good, maximally wise, this being God. This is the second conception of God. In Vedanta also it's there. This is called Saguna Brahma. In this Dakshinamurti Stotra, Dakshinamurti is the personal God, the avatar, who appeared before the four sages and gave them knowledge. That's Dakshinamurti as avatar. But avatar of what? Of God. And what is that God called in the Dakshinamurti? Shiva. So Shiva, who is eternally in Kailasha, that Shiva's temporal avatar is Dakshinamurti. So these are two conceptions of God. They're the same God, but the two conceptions. Then the third conception of God is Nirguna Brahman, pure consciousness, on the left side there, in red. So pure consciousness. This is what is the central teaching of Dakshinamurti Stotra. There is one pure consciousness which is your reality, where you can say, Aham Brahmasmi. The Guru can teach you Tattvamasi. You are that. And you can realize and you can claim or you can say, I am Brahman. That Brahman, that conception of God is the Nirguna Brahman. We can't claim to be avatara. In fact, in Hinduism, to call somebody an avatar who's not an avatar, he says, this fellow is an avatar, it seems. It's an insult. It's a parody. Swami Ashokananda ji, he said in those the early days of the hippie movement in California, in Berkeley, so a lot of people high on drugs, moving around, long-haired and beard and all. So Swami Ashokananda ji said, "Blessed Berkeley, an avatar on every street corner," because they are all high on drugs. It's very spiritual. We cannot claim to be avatars. We are jivas. We are ordinary sentient beings, just like every other sentient being. We are not God descendant on this earth, not in that sense. Now, we also cannot claim to be Saguna Brahman, God with the power of Maya, creating, preserving, destroying the world. Is it part of your CV? No. When you do job application, do you say, I created, preserved, and destroyed the world? They'll refer you to a psychiatrist then. It's called megalomania. No, we are not Saguna Brahman, but we are Nirguna Brahman. We are Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. With the dress of this individual body and mind, we are Jiva. But by ourselves, we are pure consciousness. We are this Dakshinamurti. Ishvaro Gururatmeti. That consciousness which appears as Ishvara, as the Guru, but as me. I, that one. We also read, I salute that one who's deluded by Maya, being whirled around from birth to death, thinking of oneself as father and child, Guru and Shishya, owner and owned, master and servant, subject to my past karma. This deluded person, I bow down to him as Dakshinamurti. Why? Because he is Dakshinamurti. He is that pure consciousness. So that's the third conception of God we have got, Nirguna Brahman. That's the ultimate reality in Advaita Vedanta. That is the reality, in fact, in Advaita Vedanta. Generally, when we say Brahma or Brahman, we mean that one, Nirguna Brahman. But there is a fourth conception of God, which is this universe. God immanent in this universe. In every being, living and non-living, shines that same Dakshinamurti. This universe is like the dress of God, the overcoat which God has put on. And we are seeing here. So, the universal form of God is the fourth conception of God we have got in Vedanta. You find that most amazingly, most startlingly in the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So, where Arjuna sees the Vishwarupa, the cosmic form of God. What is the cosmic form of God? This is the cosmic form of God. Then you say, but we are seeing it also. Not really. We are seeing it as a material entity. We don't see it as God. So the one who has become enlightened, the full-blown realization is that this is God. Everything, the oneness of the universe, this very universe, the existence which we have, not just in Samadhi, not just in Vaikuntha or Kailasha or in heaven, not just in the avatar, but everywhere. Everywhere are his hands and feet. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad, of thousands of heads, of thousands of hands and thousands of feet. This is my Lord everywhere. Swami Ashokanji said, Where will I see God? Foolish question. Where will you not see God? You can't avoid God. Everywhere. But that requires, it's one thing to say it, but that requires the breakthrough realization that I am pure consciousness. And then from that perspective, when you look back upon this world, you see that everything is divine. This is Sri Ramakrishna's moving from jnana to vijnana. That all is Brahman. The man who climbed to the roof of the house, he left behind the door and the first floor and the second floor and the staircase, went to the roof of the house. But then he found what the roof was made of, the same mortar and cement and stone and brick dust. What he had left behind, the rest of the house, the staircase, the first floor, ground floor, all of it is made of the same thing. When you do neti neti and climb to I am Nirguna Brahman, Satchidananda, I am awareness alone, good. But then you look back, what you have left behind. What have you left behind? What did you do neti neti? I am not the body, I am not the prana, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not even the causal body, Anandamaya. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Vilakshana Atma. Separate from this, pure consciousness, the witness of all this. Like the 10th man, I am pure awareness alone. Good. Now look back upon that causal body, the intellect, the mind, the prana, including this physical body, changeful, made of matter, subject to so many problems. Look back upon it, you will see it is nothing other than pure consciousness. It's like in a dream. When we wake up from a dream, I realize, oh, I am not those buildings and plants and they're all dreams. Not those people. I'm not even the body which I saw in the dream. It is all part of my dream. I am the dreaming mind. I am the dreamer, the dreaming mind, the one which dreamt. But then when we look back upon that body and the world and the buildings and people, everything in the dream, what are they? The dreaming mind. The mind appeared in all those forms. 3 levels of analysis are possible about the world. You've left the world behind and you're pure consciousness. Good. You're Dakshinamurti. But now 3 levels. Look back upon the world. You can regard it in 3 ways. Prakriti Parinama, Brahma Vivarta, Brahma Swarupa. Prakriti Parinama means it's a transformation of the power of God. What does a devotee look upon the world as? There is my Lord, Vishnu, Narayana, our Father in heaven, creator of the world. By his power, or the Divine Mother, by her power, she has created the world. Prakriti, the power of God, has been transformed into the world. In Vedanta we say Prakriti Parinama, transformation of Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. It's made of 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Those are transformed into this world, including our bodies and prana and mind, and also external world. All of it is transformation. It is the power of God. It is the Maya of God, it is the Shakti of God, it is the Prakriti of God, whatever you call it. All devotional approaches are like this. That's one way of looking at the world. It is the Prakriti or power of God. Second, it is like a dream. Brahma Vivarta, it's an appearance. Vivarta means appearance, like a rope, snake appearing in a rope. The world is a dream appearing in God. Magical display on the primordial ground of being. So it's a magical display on the primordial ground of being. It has 2 poles. One pole is samsara, the other pole is nirvana. But both of them are magical display on the primordial ground of being. Buddhist language. One consciousness and dream. Sister Nivedita one day said to Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji, can I think of Kali, the Divine Mother, as the dream of Shiva? Swami Vivekananda thought for a moment and he laughed. He said, well, have it your way. He said, yes, he approved. Kali, the universe, the source of the universe and the universe, is the dream of Shiva. Brahma Vivarta. Brahma Vivarta. Vivarta means apparent transformation. Earlier, what was it? Prakriti Parinama, actual transformation. God has created a real universe. But then we go a little further. As consciousness, everything appears to consciousness. It's like a dream. So this world is an appearance in consciousness. It's an appearance of Brahman. Third, you go even further. Brahma Swarupa, it is Brahman, not an appearance. When you say Brahman and appearance, still a kind of duality is there in the mind. I am Brahman, pure consciousness, and this is an appearance like a dream. It's false, it's an appearance, it's nothing other than me. Still, a dream is a kind of object. No doubt it is an appearance of your mind, it's an appearance of the dreamer. No doubt it is not other than you, still it feels other than you. You go a little further, third step, Brahma Swarupa. This is Brahman. But not in the sense of these pots and pans and doors and windows. No, as Brahman, it has taken on these forms. Otherwise it will just become materialism. It will become pantheism. Pantheism means, this is God. Where is God? This is God, this world. So you mean Spirit, Satchidananda has become all this. No, forget all that Satchidananda, Brahma, all that. This world, this universe as it is, as described in your physics book, this is called God. This is pantheism in a crude form. But the problem, the criticism of pantheism is this. You have not told me anything new. You have just changed the name of the universe to God. If there is nothing spiritual about it, it is just this universe, time, space, matter, and energy, then it's materialism, equal to materialism. You have not said anything new except change the name of universe to God. In my physics book it was called universe, now in religion class you're calling it God. No, not in that sense. Rather, first you do not deny the whole thing, negate the whole thing, neti, realize Satchidananda, then see how Satchidananda is appearing as this. Instead of regarding it as an appearance, second stage. In third stage, we regard it as Satchidananda, as existence, as Dakshinamurti himself. This is the eightfold form of Dakshinamurti. This is one. So there is a personal form of Dakshinamurti, who's sitting like this and giving instruction, facing the south. And this is the universal form of Dakshinamurti, no longer facing south. It's facing south, north, east, west, up, down, all directions is facing, because universal form of Dakshinamurti, this one. This is Sri Ramakrishna's Vijnana. In Vedanta, in Dakshinamurti Stotra, this is called Sarvatma Bhava also. I am the self of everything. The whole universe, I am one with the universe. A little insight here. People who come to Advaita Vedanta and who take it seriously, they often progress, at least in our own understanding, we progress to the second stage. That I am consciousness and the world is an appearance, like a dream-like appearance. Now, we are being urged to proceed further. Instead of staying with the dream conception of the world, that it is all me, it is all one, it is all divinity. I'm not even talking about realization. Those who actually see it that way. Even before that, if as a spiritual practitioner I regard the world as a dream, that's one option. Or I regard the world as myself, as one divine self. The world itself, the God is appearing as this world. The important thing about the world is not that it is a dream, that it is God. In that sense. What difference it will make is, I have often noticed, at least in our beginning stages, you are generally happier, the seeker is happier if you come to the third state. More active, more engaged, better able to function in the world also. If you keep on dismissing the world as a dream, you will have a continuous struggle, because the world will not let you think it's a dream. I think it was Diogenes who was to think the world is a dream, and he fell down, he broke his arm, he was in pain. And his disciples asked him that, Master, do you still think the world is a dream? He said, yes, but it's a painful dream. Whereas, if we think the world is God itself, the pain also is God itself. What is the pain? Brahma Swarupa. Just consider something like pain. Physical pain, emotional pain. How would you regard it in Vedanta? One is, it's the play of Prakriti. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas mixture, the body and the mind tend to generate pain. That's one way. Or it's a dream. Brahma Vivarta, it's an appearance in consciousness. Pain is an appearance in consciousness. Or pain is Brahman, it's God. You might think it's a little strange to think of pain as God. Everything is God, then pain also must be God. The good and the evil also must be God. So that is Brahma Swarupa. Now, from here you can understand things like Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Knowing the Jivas to be none other than Shiva, you serve them. So one can know it in different ways. I know that this Jiva is none other than Shiva, is Satchidananda, I am also Satchidananda. And the body and the mind, the Jiva nature of it is false, it's a dream. One can dismiss. But then you will dismiss the pain and sorrow of the Jiva also in that case. It's a dream. Why care about it? But if you say it is Shiva and Shiva alone, including mind, body, its suffering, happiness, welfare, woe, birth and death, all of it is Shiva, then we can engage in it. And we can, for example, Sri Ramakrishna says, service to the Jiva is worship of Shiva. That is possible if you regard the Jiva as Brahma Swarupam, as nothing other than Shiva. If you regard the Jiva as a dream, then it's difficult to justify service. Like that. You are more engaged and more happy, psychologically also better, healthier, to regard, I am immersed in an ocean of God. And the universe is one with me. I talked about Dr. Jhandu Bhatt yesterday in Gujarat. Swami Akhandananda was very inspired by Dr. Jhandu Bhatt. He would pray every day in the morning, "Oh Lord, let me feel the sorrow of all beings. Let me feel," he's a doctor, "let me feel their sufferings and make me an instrument to remove the sufferings of all beings." So, that is very compatible for this third view of this one, Brahma Swarupam, or the fourth conception of God which I mentioned, God as the cosmic form. 11th chapter of Gita very dramatically is presented. Same thing is presented here in the 9th verse. So here it is presented in a particular way. 8 forms, 8 aspects of Dakshinamurti. 8 aspects. What are the 8 aspects? To cover the entire universe. The universe is made of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, from this Brahman alone appeared space, and then appeared wind and fire and water and earth, the old cosmology of 5 elements. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta akashad vayo vayor agni agner apa adbhya prithvi. So 5 elements have emerged. So here those 5 elements are taken because they are the basic constituents. They are Dakshinamurti. Then this is called Bhuta, Panchabhuta. Then the universe which is made of these 5 elements. What is the universe made of 5 elements? Is earth, that sun, the moon, the stars, the quasars and the quarks, all are made of 5 elements. Our bodies and our minds also, subtle bodies. You've seen Vedanta Sara, Sukshma Sharir is made of subtle forms of 5 elements. So this is called Bhautika, Bhautika Prapancha. They formed cosmos which is made of 5 elements. To represent the formed universe, this universe which is here, 2 samples are taken, sun and the moon. This sun and the moon to represent the whole physical universe, the whole subtle universe, whatever is made of 5 elements. And finally, one more thing, the conscious being, the sentient being, us, Jiva. So now you have 5 elements, sun and the moon, 6 and 7, and the Jiva, sentient being, 8. These 8 are representative of the entire cosmos. And this is the body of Dakshinamurti, the body of God. So this is Bhu, which means earth. Ambhamsi, waters. Anala, fire. Anila, sky. Then Ambara is the sky. Anala is fire. Anila is air. Ambara is Akasha, sky. Then Aharnatha is a poetic way of referring to the sun. The sun is the Lord of the day. Ahar means day. Aharnatha, the Lord of the day, the king of the day, which is the sun. Then Himangshu, which is a poetic way of referring to the moon. Hima means cool, Angshu means rays. So sun also has rays, but they are hot rays. So the moon also has rays of light, moonbeams, but they are cool beams. So the luminous body with cool beams of light, that is the moon, Himangshu. It's a popular name for boys in India, Himangshu. Then the Jiva, us, Puman, the sentient being, you, I. Nityabhati shines forth. Dakshinamurti shines forth here. See, look, you're literally seeing God. Characharatmakam, all the moving beings, that means the living beings. Achara means all the non-living things which do not move of their own accord. Idam, this, idam means this, here. As drawing our attention to what is most vivid, what is most evident to us. Murti Ashtakam, eight-faceted form of, or eightfold form of Dakshinamurti, universal form of Dakshinamurti. You won't say, this is Dakshinamurti, but we will say, but you said it is pure being, pure consciousness. It's not pure being, pure consciousness. So no, this is the eightfold form of Dakshinamurti. There is nothing more than this. Here itself is Satchidananda. When you say, here is the eightfold form of gold, and you show 8 kinds of ornaments. Where is gold? Here itself. And where are the ornaments? Here itself. So you see all these, it's now the ornamental form of Dakshinamurti, the glorious form of Dakshinamurti. Tasmai Shri Gurumurtai Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtai. What an amazing vision. Where will you not see God? See God with open eyes. I quoted Kabir Das. Swami Sundarananda in the Himalayas had told me, that's his philosophy. Khule nayan dekhun sahab ko. With open eyes do I see my Lord. For him, the Lord was the Ganga and the Himalaya. Ganga and the Himalaya. All right. But just think about it carefully. In the third verse, the first line was, Yasyaiva sfuranam sadatmakam asat kalparthagam bhasate. That pure being, whose nature is consciousness and being, which appears as asat kalparthagam, this false universe, this dreamlike universe of names and forms and activities. That false dreamlike universe is now seen as the eightfold form of God. But first, in between, the process of discovery must be there. First, neti, not this, and discover the heart of it, reality. Then say it is this. First say, gold is not the bracelet, gold is not the tiara, gold is not the anklet, gold is not the, what other ornaments, ring, all kinds of ornaments, necklace. Gold is none of them. Discover what gold is. Then you realize the necklace and the bracelet and the tiara and the anklet, they are all gold. If you say, I've understood what gold is, but now seems so abstract. No, it's not abstract. Look at these ornaments. But you said these ornaments are not gold. Yes, the name of the ornament and the form of the ornament and the activity of the ornament, that is not gold. But the reality of the ornament is gold. The reality of all these golden ornaments is gold. Here in front of you is gold. Here in front of you is God. Then we come to the conclusion. 10th stanza. So, it is traditional to give the result. What is the result? You will get moksha. What is the result? You realize that you are Brahman, you are free of birth and death and all of that. But here, the result of Advaitic realization is put in a beautiful way. It is said to be Sarvatma Bhava, becoming the self of all beings, of everybody. Everybody is one with you. The universe is one with you. You are one with the universe. You become one with everything. So there's that joke. You go to a pizza shop, and all different toppings are there, and you ask, "Can you make me one with everything?" Now this journalist, it's on YouTube. This journalist, he tried this joke on the Dalai Lama. He says, "I want to tell you this." It's on YouTube, you can see it. Say, "Can you make me one with everything?" This man goes to a pizza shop and there are different toppings. Which toppings do you want? And the man says, "Can you make me one with everything?" So that's what I'm asking. Can you make me one with everything? And the Dalai Lama took it seriously. He said, "Well, theoretically it is possible." And the journalist said, "I knew it wouldn't work." So this is theoretically it is possible. Huh? Everything bagel, yes. Everything croissant also. 10th verse. The result. Sarvatmatvam iti sphutikritam idam yasmadamushmin stave tenasya shravanat tadathamananat tadhyanat cha sankirtanat sarvatmatvam mahavibhuti sahitam syadishwaratvam tatah siddhyet tat punarashtada parinatam chaishwaryam abhyahatam. Because the universality of the Atman has thus been explained in this hymn, therefore by hearing it, by reflecting and meditating upon its teaching, and by reciting it, that divine state which is endued with the mighty grandeur of being the universal self, shall of itself come into being, as also that unimpeded divine power presenting itself in forms 8. So, what has been taught here? Sarvatmatvam iti sphutikritam idam. Being one with the entire universe. That is the essential teaching, final and essential teaching of Advaita Vedanta. Being one with all. Being the self, literally, sarvatmatvam, being the self of the entire universe. That is Dakshinamurti. The whole universe is your own. Now you understand the Holy Mother's last teaching. Before she passed away, she said to the lady who was next to her, "My child, no one is an other. Kyau par naima. The whole universe is your own. Try to make everybody your own. Do not see faults in others. If you must see faults in yourself." I take that in Advaitic sense of, if you want to do the neti and investigation, I am not this, start with yourself. Then find out the truth. One great teacher of ours, when we were young monks, talking about devotion and jnana, on the path of Advaita and the path of devotion to God. He said, when the Advaitic analysis is meant to be applied to you, and devotion to be applied to God. Jnana, knowledge, is meant to be applied to yourself, and devotion to God. And he says, but these fools, meaning us, these fools, you apply jnana to God. Oh, there is no God, I am pure consciousness, this is just an appearance. And they apply bhakti to themselves, devotion to them. When the bell rings, they run for food. Yeah. You should do the opposite. I am not the body, not the mind. The pulls of the body and mind, I have to overcome. I am the spirit, I am consciousness, I am awareness. And to the Lord, Dakshinamurti, Sri Ramakrishna, when he is present like that, devotion, surrender, faith, not the other way around. So, oneness, the one self has been taught. And this is the third Prakriti Parinama, Brahma Vivarta, Brahma Swarupa. This world is a transformation of Prakriti. It is a product of processes. It could be the power of God, it could be scientific processes, the material universe, Big Bang. That's one way of looking at it. Or it is a dream in pure consciousness. Or it is pure consciousness itself, Brahman itself, eightfold form of Dakshinamurti. the universal Vishwarupa form of Krishna, this one. Sarvatmatvam has been taught in this hymn, in this stotra. Then what do? What next? Follow-up program. Tenasya shravanat, listen. I have heard it already. Again. Repeat. Keep on repeating. There's nothing more wonderful, nothing more pleasant, more beautiful than listening about God in different forms. You don't have to keep on listening to this verse itself again and again. But you can listen to other Upanishads and the Gita. You can listen to devotional texts, Bhagavatam, and many other all spiritual. Keep your mind on God in whatever way possible. So, Shravanat. Then, not just listening, Tadartha Mananat. Think about it, reason about it. What did I hear? Relate it to life. Relate it to oneself. How does it relate? It's about me. So I should apply it to myself. Not just something to in the book. That's the big problem we have done in Hinduism for centuries. The Gita is to be worshipped. They keep it in the worship place along with the image and the worship. They throw flowers and sprinkle holy water on it until over 3 generations, the Gita it's become swollen and it has lost its print and everything. It's just become a holy artifact. It happens. I saw in National Geographic, there's an old magazine, a Tibetan monastery, I think in Sikkim or somewhere. So they have hundreds of old or thousands of old manuscripts written in palm leaf or some other parchment. And those things, it's difficult to take care of them, especially in that high altitude, which is a lot of mist and snow and all. So when there's a sunny day, once in a year or once in 6 months, all the monks, they ritualistically, they bring out all the books, which are these parchments and all. And they have these wooden desks. On that they put it to air it, put it under the sun. And then the monks all in a queue, they will crawl under the desks because they are never going to read the books. So it's this way you pass under it and hope it will just sort of sink into you. But that's what we do with the holy text, all of us. They're doing it ritualistically. Yeah, I'm sure they read it also. But anyway, they're doing it ritualistically. Does that help? Maybe, but it's better to read it. It helps in the sense it keeps a sense of the sacred about it. Reverence, a sense of the sacred is maintained. That's good. That's really good. But it's much better to, he says, Shravanat tadartha mananat. Think well about it. What you have heard, think well about it. Meditate, reason about it. If you need, argue about it. Take up a position against it, or take up questions and try to answer it. Get clarity. Once you have got clarity, then dhyanatya, meditate upon it. What the intellect has processed, Sri Ramakrishna says, where argumentation stops, there the man becomes silent. Silent is you have found the reality now. You have got conviction, clarity, conviction. You have understood it. And what you have understood is not remote, it's proximate, it's right here. So you have understood something about present right here. Why not meditate upon it? Dhyanatya, and you meditate upon it. And once it becomes a living reality, he says, Sankitana. Sankitana means, literally Kirtana means singing. Group singing even. Now, Sankitana has these 3 meanings. One is the devotional chanting of the Dakshinamurti Stotra. So if you daily chant it. Even if I say, I don't understand all this stuff. I attended the retreat, but I don't know, I didn't get it. What was they were talking about? But I like the verse. I like the hymn. I like listening to it and chanting it. So that's one thing that's recommended. Chant it. Even if I don't understand the meaning. Some have told me that I love this hymn. I did not know the meaning, I had not thought so much about it, but I listened to it, I chant it, and that's good. That's recommended here. That's one meaning of Sankirtana, chanting it devotionally. Then the second meaning of Sankirtana is that for those who have understood it, those who have got it, then the chanting becomes nididhyasana, non-dual. This meditation itself becomes nididhyasana. And this meditation itself becomes Sankirtana. Or Sankirtana becomes meditation. Because now you have heard all this, try it, if you're used to chanting it, chant it, don't think in details, vritti, vyapti, phala, vyapti and all that, but you have a general understanding of each verse. So when you chant it, the meaning will come to your mind. You'll see how much enriched your chanting becomes. There's a second meaning. Chanting with meaning becomes meditation, non-dual meditation. And third meaning of Sankitana is to do it in a group. What we are doing here, to teach. Teaching and learning. That's also Sankitana. Patha, sharing with others. So what will happen? First, the main result, sarvatmatvam Maha Vibhuti Sahitam. Maha Vibhuti, the great glory which will come from this is oneness with the universe, or the universe will become one with you. There's a difference. You becoming one with the universe becoming one with you, there's a difference. The dream is one with you. You are not one with the dream. The necklace is one with gold. Gold is not one with necklace, because gold can exist without being a necklace. If you melt it down, necklace is gone. Gold is still there. Similarly, the universe is one with you. You are there. If the universe is gone, you're still there. The time will come when the universe will be gone. Time will come when this day will be gone very soon. You would still be there. Then after some time, this life will be gone. This body will be gone. You will still be there. And after some more time, a long, long, long time, this universe will be gone. You will still be there as Dakshinamurti, as pure consciousness. So the universe is one with you. You are not one with the universe. The universe is nothing but you. Sarvatmatvam. This is called Maha Vibhuti, the great glory, the great result, the mighty result which comes from this knowledge. But also extra, some optionals, toppings are there. This is the pizza, but the toppings are also there. What are the toppings? Ishwaratvam, you become one with God. You become one with Shiva. So you just said that. No, I just said you are one with, you realize you're Nirguna Brahman. But then you become one with Saguna Brahman also, Ishvara. All the glories of Ishvara are yours. Here it is interesting. Generally, Advaitins will not say this. Generally, Advaitins, non-dualists, will say that you are Brahman, Nirguna Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi means that. Aham Brahmasmi does not mean I am God. But this is what Kashmiri Shaivas say. When you become enlightened, you are Shiva, and you realize you are Shiva. You are God. You realize that. Advaitins will say that's illogical. You cannot be God. When there is God, you are a sentient being, Jiva. But both Jiva and Shiva are transcended. One Nirguna pure consciousness is realized. You are that. However, Kashmiri Shaivism says when you become enlightened, you attain to full cosmic form, the full cosmic power, that you become Shiva himself. You become God. Now, 2 points here. One is, this is one of the most clear signs of the Kashmiri Shaiva influence on Dakshinamurti Stotra. Usually, Shankaracharya will not say such things in other places. But here, in this Dakshinamurti Stotra, there are numerous cases, scattered across the verses. Words like pratyabhigya, recognizes. This recognition, the whole of Kashmiri Shaiva philosophy is called pratyabhigya. It is the philosophy of recognition. It's Kashmiri Shaiva philosophy. Then there is the word spandate, vibrates. This is a kind of language that Kashmiri Shaivas use, generally not used in Advaita Vedanta. And the mirror example, the famous mirror example which started the whole thing, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. The universe is like a city reflected in a mirror. That's mirror and reflection imagery is used in Kashmiri Shaivism. Lake, ice. Normally you would not use ice imagery in Kerala. But in Kashmiri Shaivism you will use. And in mirror example. So number of touches of Kashmiri Shaivism are there in this Dakshinamurti Stotra. So that's a mystery. There are many theories about it, why, but anyway. Another observation, that you will become God, this is the result of Advaitic realization. This is, when I say this is not in Advaita Vedanta, that's not entirely true. I'm thankful to Swami Pranav Chaitanya Puriji, who pointed out in one corner of the Brahma Sutra commentary of Shankaracharya, Brahma Sutra Bhashya, this topic is taken up. When you become fully enlightened, you not only realize I am Satchidananda, but do you realize I am Ishvara, I am Bhagavan, I am God also? It says yes. And that discussion is there in the Brahma Sutras. So that's something that escaped my attention. It's not a topic entirely foreign to Advaita Vedanta. It's well within the discussion of Advaita Vedanta. After all, when you say Sarvatmatvam, I am the Atma of all. All who? All jivas, all sentient beings, all non-living things. But the Atma of all jivas and all non-living things is Ishvara, Bhagavan. All right. Further toppings. What could be there? Becoming the universe becoming one with you and then becoming God. What else could be there? Then you get superpowers, like all the Marvel comics and DC comics. So all those superpowers will come to you. He says, Siddhet, this Siddhis, Ashta Siddhis will come. The eightfold superpowers will come to you, which is mentioned in the Yoga Sutras. Anima, Laghima, Garima, Mahima. What else? Vashitva, Ishitva, Prakamya. So you can become as tiny as you want physically. You can become as huge as you want physically. You can become as light and float up in the air. And that's what initially attracts everybody to yoga. Right? You can lose weight. And then prakamya and all, ishitva, like things like whatever one wants to get, you can get immediately. So many stories are there of many yogis who can materialize objects, whatever you want. You order, just like Amazon Prime, it will materialize, it will come to your door. 1 day delivery. So here it is 1 second delivery. So those things will come. All those vibhutis. Now, remember, a truly spiritual person will not be interested in any of that. The only thing we are interested in is that sarvatmatvam, which also, according to Vedanta, is our natural state. That's our real nature. We only want what is ours. We don't want all sorts of to become Superman and Spider-Man and all of that. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, that what we have studied in these days may become real in our lives, and may we get the benefit from this in this life itself by their grace. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Now, we have got time to 10:30? Yes. So let us have some Q&A. Yes, please go to the microphone.
Yeah, Namaste Swamiji.
Yes.
So inspired by the topic of this retreat, first of all, I want to express my gratitude in silence. And my question is about the dream and the waking, and I will use your Mandukya language, and I'm sure you will translate that for this audience. So my question is, by waking up from a dream, we are solving the problem of the dream tiger by wiping out not just the dream tiger, but also the Swapna Purusha and his entire Swapna Prapancha. It's like a nuclear option. Whereas in the waking state, even after realizing my true nature, I still have to solve the problem with the tiger in the living state. Thakur also says, right, even after realizing that Narayana is the Antaryami of all the living beings, he says we still address the Narayana by not going to the tiger Narayana and hugging and saluting from far away. Right? So given this, is it accurate to say that the dream tiger, by addressing the dream tiger by pratiti ko mitake, whereas we have to address the waking life tiger by vyavahar mein nirbad banke?
Yes. The core of this question is, we often compare enlightenment to waking up from a dream. But the two are not same. When you wake up from a dream, the problems of the dream disappear. Not only you realize it was a dream, it's gone, it's totally gone. The one who had the problem is gone. Like suppose the example he gave was a dream tiger. You're being chased by a tiger. Then you wake up from it, it's a dream, you wake up from it, the tiger is gone, the one who is being chased by the tiger is gone, the forest is gone, the whole thing is gone. You're not even experiencing it. You're not lucid dreaming, it's just gone, you've woken up now. Whereas, if you become enlightened here and now, and you realize you're Brahman and everything is Brahman and this what realization we have, still it will keep on appearing. Eightfold form of Dakshinamurti will keep on appearing. If you are being chased by a tiger, well, that's unlikely here in Star Lake, but if suppose more problem, ticks. Or if, see, the more serious problems, health problems, financial problems, relationship problems, these are the tigers which chase us. They'll still be here after you become enlightened. So, what is the solution? Well, he has suggested the solution himself. In spiritual life, there are two ways. What the yogi tries to do is to wipe out the experience itself. In samadhi, when you sit, the world is not there for you. Body is also not there for you. Mind is also not there for you. You are in one limitless consciousness in samadhi. When you have shut down the mind, stilled the mind in deep meditation. So that's one way of dealing with it. It's to wipe out the experience of the world. But that's not the Advaitic way. The Advaitic way, the Vedantic way, is to divinize the experience itself, is to see the experience for what it is. Vivekananda said, it's not that we deny the world, we understand it for the first time, what it is. It is nothing other than God. If you realize this sarvatmatva, oneness, if you realize that there is one limitless divinity here, this is what the phrase which he used, vyavahar mein nirbad banana. In the midst of transactions, because transactions will continue, you still have to deal with your financial problems, parking problems, relationship problems, everything. But it will not be a problem anymore. All of it will be play. For the first time, it will be leela for you now. You will be relaxed in the midst of it. After all, who else is here except you? In life and death, one divinity, one God alone is there. Very interesting that one of the characteristics of the enlightened one is at the point of death, krita kritena tapati, is not tormented by what was done and what was left undone. Who is tormented by what was done and what was left undone? A good person. Why? Kimaham papam akaravam, kimaham sadhum nakaravam. Why did I commit these sins? What good is it? Now I am left with the memory and burden of these sins I have committed in my life. Why did I not do the great amount of good I could have done while living, while there was still time? Who is tormented? A good person, a pious person, a religious person is tormented by such thoughts. Enlightened person is not tormented. In this, remember, it's not like the other end of the spectrum. The utter scoundrel is also not tormented. I am fine. As long as I am not too uncomfortable while dying. I am not concerned about what I have done or not done in the world. But the enlightened one is also not tormented, because the enlightened one sees whatever was done, undone, it's all one divine play. Nothing has been harmed here. Nothing has been improved here also. How can you improve God? How can you harm God? That person, it sees clearly. The enlightened one sees this clearly. And therefore, while living in this body, vyavahar, in transaction, nirbad is a word difficult to translate. It means limitless, fearless, utterly relaxed in the midst of intense activity. Swami Vivekananda said the ideal of Vedanta is the complete serenity in the midst of intense activity. Yes, that's possible with this vision. Yes.
But like you said, it also helps you serve people better.
It helps you serve people better. If you wipe out the experience of the world, you cannot serve people at all. Yeah. It connects you to everything. You become much bigger. Our real problem is smallness. We are in this little body-mind. The way to expand beyond this body-mind. One way is to catch hold of the infinite, God. The other way is to see the infinite within. One way is to expand yourself till you become very big. The other way is to reduce yourself, make yourself smaller and smaller till only God is left. That is the Nag Mahashaya model and the Vivekananda model. Girish Ghosh said, see, it is this Vivekananda, Naren, Vivekananda, he made himself bigger and bigger until the net of Maya couldn't catch him. I am Brahman, I am all of this. And Nag Mahashaya, the opposite, is the household disciple of Sri Ramakrishna from the modern day Bangladesh, Deobhog in Bangladesh. He made himself smaller and smaller. That I am nothing, you are all. And what an amazing life. You see, that's also another way. His approach was utterly devotional. Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, when Ma Sharada when he would come to visit the Holy Mother, she would ask the monks there or the people, the devotees, the volunteers there to serve some prasad. They would do it on banana leaves in those days. Because it was given on banana leaves and it was given by the Holy Mother, the prasad, he would devotionally, seriously, he would eat the prasad and start eating the banana leaf also. And so the people who served had strict instruction to snatch away the leaf when he had finished. When the mother gave him a cloth, a dhoti to wear, he didn't wear it, he put it as a turban on his head. And that's not only with the Holy Mother, with everybody in the world. In Bangladesh is a place of huge rivers, so you cross with boats. The boatmen would be terrified of him. They regarded him as a saint because he couldn't bear that anybody else was put to any trouble when he was there. So he would get into a boat, he would snatch away the oars from the boatman and start rowing himself. The monks would be terrified of visiting him because he would take such great care to the extent of wiping himself out to take care of the visiting monks. He would treat them like visiting gods. So two young monks were sent, go and see Nag Mahashaya. There's an inspiration, what a spirituality truly is. You have come to be monks, see this person. They went, and so the only good room was given by Nag Mahashaya to him. And Nag Mahashaya and his wife, they slept outside on the portico. It was given to the monks. Every day there was a feast because he would, day and night he was engaged in taking care of them. Then when it came time for, they said, we have to run away from here. Like, we can't take this hospitality anymore. So they said, we have got some work, we have to go. And he wept that I could not keep you any longer in my house. So they took him to the railway station, took the monks to the railway station to see them off, all the while bewailing his fate that they have not stayed anymore in his house. The train was packed. And the monks could not get a place to sit. I mean, it's very natural in India, even now and those days also. But Nag Mahashaya started wailing, it is my bad karma, it is my sinful nature because of which the holy ones cannot get a seat. And to the horror of all the passengers, they quickly got up and they let, please come and sit here. Made himself smaller and smaller till the net of Maya, slipped through the net of Maya. Maya can't catch him.
Tell us the gooseberry story.
Which was the good face story?
Sri Ramakrishna was a gooseberry and he couldn't find it and he could see it in Nag Mahashaya and all over the place.
Yes, right. So that was very intense bhakti. Yes, question.
Pranam Maharaj, I have a question on the second conception of God, Saguna Brahman. To what extent do the devotees affect the devoted? Because there are certain conceptions of Saguna Brahman which are worshipped as being wrathful towards beings that don't worship that entity in the particular name and form. Does it actually turn out to be that way? Because if you see, the devotee is not different from the devoted. Are certain portions of the Hiranyagarbha actually that way?
Yes, one way of encouraging devotion. See, second conception of God is Saguna Brahman, Ishvara. And one way of encouraging devotion to God might be fear. So, the fear of God, the wrath of God, the awe of God. Whatever we say, we quickly respond to the rod. So, the rod of God, we quickly respond to that. That's why sometimes, but it's an initial stage. In our bhakti traditions in Vedanta and Hinduism, we know that fear is very preliminary. Love is where there is no fear. So as we go quickly forward in spiritual life, fear goes away. What we must have is God is our very own. That's the higher form of bhakti. But you are right. Wrathful forms are there. The anger of God, even the anger of God is beneficial. It's not harmful. It just might be a way of scaring you into spiritual life or into ethical life.
So the question is also like, the wrath is not towards those who worship the form. The wrath is towards those who don't worship.
So then, to make them worship the form? To inculcate fear so that you can have devotion for that form? Now that can be misused and can become fanaticism. So that was not the point. Was there at all a point to that kind of the anger of God? The point was to encourage devotion and fear leading to devotion, so that persons are scared into a moral life and religious life. But not to use that to scare others so that come to my sect or my religion, otherwise you will go to hell and burn forever. The original purpose was to encourage devotion to God, surrender to God, awe of God. One thing I would say, in Hinduism also it is there, but that awe is in a wholesome way, not in as terror or hatred or as revengeful or as destructive. If you go to some of the great temples in India, I have seen this myself in some cases. For example, Jagannath Puri I have seen. So when you enter the sanctum sanctorum, the inner sanctum, there is a tremendous feeling of awe. There is all your Advaita will fly out there. There is such a extraordinary presence of the Lord. You get to stay for a few seconds only. That you see in the great ancient temples of India. Whatever the deity is, it could be the Divine Mother, it could be Balaji in Tirupati, it could be Jagannath in Puri. So sometimes you feel that awe in the presence of that. And that is the true awe. That's not to scare you. That is just to leave you awed. An unforgettable experience of the divine splendor. Yes.
Namaste, Guruji. My question is, when I try to search God in myself, within the self, I am able to make little progress. And when I do the same thing outside, to see the conscious in every being and in the entire world, I'm able to make little progress. But when I try to do both, right, seeing God within myself and outside, that's where I find more difficulty. And the more difficulty comes when I see myself everywhere. There I keep failing again and again. So how should I approach further? Whenever I fail in something, like trying to see God everywhere, should I resort to go from within and try to succeed there before I try the other ones?
Yeah. The answer is don't. Don't do any of it.
Okay.
See, when you say, when I try to see God outside in all beings, what you should do is try to believe that God is there outside. You say, I try to see God in myself. Don't try to see God in yourself. The path of Advaita is not trying to see God in myself. The path in Advaita is a careful, eyes wide open, mind alert, inquiry into what we are. Not this free talking like this. Verse by verse, take it up line by line and carefully try to understand what's being said. Not loose talk like, try to see God in myself. What does it mean? How? How do you see the God is within you? It's in every action I do. The body is acting, speech is speaking, and thoughts are going on in the mind. Where is God here? And yet, what you are saying, none of it was said in this text. You see, when we say trying to see God in myself, that is a loose way of talking. The first verse of the Dakshinamurti Stotra, what did it say? Who am I? What am I? It did not say try to see God in yourself. Try to find out who or what you are. Are you just this body? Are you just the prana or the mind? Are you just combination of body, prana and mind? Then the promise is that you will discover something extraordinary. You will discover consciousness, existence. Then you will discover that consciousness and existence is limitless. Then you will discover that everything that you experience in the world, in the body, mind, they are all appearances in that consciousness and existence. This is what is meant when we loosely say finding God within ourselves. If you do that, then any doubt if you have, will be doubt about that process. At what point does it seem theoretical and not real? That will be the precise question. Then don't say, I find a little progress in trying to see God. It's a loose kind of talk. What do you mean by God? What do you mean by trying to see God in myself? What do you mean by little progress? Yeah. So, my precise answer to your question is twofold. When you say I'm trying to see God within every being, then what you do is believe that God is within every being. Try to believe. God as you understand, suppose you understand God as Krishna or as Ramakrishna. God, Sri Ramakrishna, is within all the people that I interact with. How? If somebody asks how, do you see it? No. Do you understand it? No. Then why do you say that? I believe it. But if you want to understand it, then come in this way. Abandon that talk of seeing God in everything. Try to come in this way and say, who am I? What is this? Then you will discover in me and in that there is one underlying reality which is Satchidananda. You can call it Dakshinamurti or God if you want. Yes. These two must be clear, the path of belief and the path of inquiry. And both can be combined. See, when you chant Dakshinamurti Stotra with devotion, that is the path of belief. Many people do that. With devotion, with faith I am chanting, not with understanding. And when you inquire into it, go through in this, for example, this retreat we had. This is the path of understanding. Now we are taking it up line by line and trying to understand and relate to our experience. This is jnana. Yeah. Good. So conceptually I have understood the verses. What's next? No. Conceptually I have understood means manana is done. I have understood. But if conceptually I have understood, then the next thing is to see it in reality. No, practice later. First see it in reality. Is it real for you? That I am consciousness. If you say I have conceptually understood it, what remains? To make it a living reality. And this gap between conceptual understanding and making it a living reality is ignorance. If I say I have conceptually understood I am Sarvapriyananda, but I have to practice Sarvapriyananda until Sarvapriyananda Yoga, until I become Sarvapriyananda, you will say, what nonsense, you are Sarvapriyananda. If you have understood that you are Sarvapriyananda, there should not be any more this doubt that in reality how I will see I am Sarvapriyananda. You are Sarvapriyananda in reality. If you have understood that, you are automatically that. Advaita Vedanta will say that. If I have conceptually understood I am Dakshinamurti, I am pure consciousness, no, nothing more remains. Then comes the question of living it, implementing it in our day-to-day life. So, yes. Shravana, Manana, Niridhyasana, as they said in the 10th verse. And if nothing else, Sankitana. Repeat.
Swami, my question is, you've actually answered a lot of it already in what you just said in the first three answers, but it's about how we lead our life day to day. The reason we engage in self-inquiry is because probably the biggest reason for most of us is because there is suffering, as the Buddha says. And we seek to get rid of this suffering and get bliss, happiness, nirvana in our life. And that is why we ask the questions of, who am I?
Yes.
What is the universe? And all this suffering happens in the mind for all of us. So the problem is the mind. You tell us that consciousness is there and appears as the universe and the world. Items that are jada don't have suffering, but they have consciousness. They appear in consciousness. The problem is for those that have this brain and this mind. It's our price of evolution, maybe.
Yes.
Amoebas maybe don't suffer, but we suffer a lot because we have the biggest brain. I've seen it even in pets. We have a pet who's very smart. She suffers, and there's another pet in the building who's dumb as an ox and doesn't suffer. And so my long-winded question is, really, if the problem is in the mind, we really have to address that first. And that's why I said you already answered my question partially, in the way we lead our lives to lower the suffering in our mind. And for that, whether it's meditation, whether it's doing work as meditation, whether it's doing sports as meditation, art, everything is designed to calm the mind. Because the unsettled mind is really the... So should that not be really day to day our focus, and how we evaluate even ourselves, how our mind is really behaving as we go about this process on a really practical level?
True. You have hit the nail on the head. This is what spirituality is about. The higher spirituality which we are doing here in Buddhism, in Advaita Vedanta and all, this is what spirituality is really about. It's about the mind. That story of the Buddha, that I find it very telling, that what is spirituality? What does spirituality try to achieve? What's the purpose of spirituality? And one monk asked the Buddha that, I have a question. What is the question? You said old age, disease, death is suffering. Yes. And you said you have found a way out of suffering. I said, yes. But you are becoming old. You get disease. We are following your teachings. We are also becoming old. We are also getting disease. And some of us have died, and one day you will also die. So if old age, disease, death are suffering, you say you have overcome suffering, and yet old age, disease, death are there for you and for all of us. How have you overcome suffering? It's a logical question. It's a beautifully set question. What does spirituality do? What can it achieve? The Buddha said, suffering, the nature of suffering is like a man hit by 2 arrows. The first arrow is what the world throws at you. Physical problems, social problems, relationship problems, all of this is what the world, this is the first arrow which hits you. The second arrow is your reaction in the mind to all of this. And he says, the second arrow causes maximum suffering, exactly what you said. Really, external suffering is there, but real suffering is because of the mind. I always say any doctor knows this very well. You've dealt with thousands of patients. You have dealt with patients with serious conditions who react with fortitude and dignity. You have dealt with patients with relatively minor conditions who break down and create a fuss. Who is suffering more? It's the second one who's suffering more. The difference is not in the actual physical condition of the patient. The difference is in the mind of the patient. Our real suffering is caused by the mind, not by the external, not by the first arrow, the second arrow. As one sadhu said, very tellingly, he said, हम समझते हैं कि संसार के चलते मन अशांत है, जबकि अशांत मन के चलते संसार है. We think because of the world my mind is unsettled. But the truth is, my mind is unsettled. The world is because my mind is unsettled. It's because of the lack of peace in my mind that samsara seems so troublesome to me. See, this samsara of terrible medical problem, with a calm mind the patient can handle it much better. Minor medical problem, with an upset mind the patient suffers much more. Then the Buddha said, all this is my explanation, Buddha didn't say all this. Then the Buddha said, what I have taught you will deal with the suffering caused by the second arrow, the mind. The first arrow is what we deal about it in the world, through politics, through medicine, through technology. We try to deal with the suffering thrown at us from the environment in our body. We deal with that. That is called Adi Bhautika, elemental suffering. Adhyatmika, suffering at the level of the body. But suffering at the level of the mind, you are required to change the mind. That's what spirituality does. You change the mind in such a way, then this suffering is no suffering at all for you.
Swami, when sees some of the senior monks of the order, they just radiate happiness.
Yes.
And so,
in the midst of old age,
all kind of problems of the body, and yet they radiate happiness.
They radiate happiness. Not only old age, disease, but also huge responsibilities in the order, under a lot of stress. It's quite easy to be happy when you are sitting in a cave alone. You might think that's very austere, very difficult. It isn't actually. I've tried it myself. It's very nice. I recommend it. But if you have a lot of responsibility you've taken up, and challenges every day in the midst of that, if you remain serene and happy, it's not a small thing. It's a great something. You've got something then.
Thank you, Swami.
Yes. But what's the next program?
So then there is chanting and bhajans for after that?
No, that was from 10:30 to 11.
No, that is a break.
Oh, break. Now? We are in the break now, yes.
So how do you want to do it? We have half an hour bhajan afterwards, and then we take the pranayama.
Yes, we can cut down the bhajan and chanting to 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So let's... Yeah. You adjust it and then announce at the end of the Q&A. We'll finish just these. No more Q&A, just those who are standing here. Yes.
Pranam Swamiji. I'll try to keep it short. The fourth conception of God, which you mentioned about universe as the immanence of God, that universe, if we see on the right column of your Tvam and Tat, which was your previous chart, the three levels of Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishwar, is that universe means all the three levels there?
Yes.
And so
causal, subtle and gross.
And so there it will also follow the Ishwaratvam, because the last part is the cosmic causality is Ishwar. So Ishwaratvam also, does that follow from the fourth conception also?
It says so in this verse, in this hymn. Traditional Advaita Vedanta will have some objection to that. Although, as I said in Brahma Sutras, Swami Pranam Chaitanya Puri pointed out, this position is debated and accepted, what is said here.
Thank you.
Kashmir Shaivism accepts it.
Pranam Swamiji. First, I want to acknowledge that every time I think about questions, it just gets automatically answered by you. So thank you for answering the questions over the past few days. Being an academic, I just have two simple clarification questions remaining. One is, you mentioned when you were talking about self-inquiry based versus devotion-based religions, you pointed out that you did not list Advaita Vedanta as a self-inquiry based path. And so I was wondering how you would then classify it.
And it's actually an advertisement for Advaita Vedanta. So I'm saying Advaita Vedanta is both. And more than that. What does Advaita Vedanta say? Advaita Vedanta says Tattvamasi. Some religions are Tat-centered, some religions are Tvam-based. But what you get in the Tvam-based approach, what you get in the Tat-based approach is the same thing. That's what Advaita Vedanta says. Okay. But yes, Advaita Vedanta definitely is a self-inquiry based, because the method in Advaita Vedanta is vichara, inquiry.
Okay. Thank you. And the second question is, the Mahavakyas seem very clear in what they're trying to say. I mean, thanks to you for making it so clear to us. So I was wondering, how do these other philosophies, such as Vishishta Advaita, how would they explain the Mahavakyas?
Very well, they have no problem at all. They will say, first of all, these are not Mahavakyas for them.
I was just going to say.
So these are parts of the Upanishads. They will do pranam, yes, this is part of the Upanishad. And its meaning is pretty simple. Tattvamasi, tasya adhinatvamasi, tadangshatvamasi. You are a part of that. Sanskrit grammar is very malleable. They can make a grammatical case that Brahman is saying, you are my part, amsha. You are not me. You are part of Brahman. The Dvaitavadin will say, tad adhinatvamasi. Brahman is like the king. You are the subject. You are under Brahman. And that tattvamasi also can be interpreted. They go so far as to say tattvamasi means atattvamasi. You are not that. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Swamiji, I have a very fundamental question to ask, so don't be disappointed in my question.
No, it's got fun in it, fundamentals of fun.
My question is that Brahman is beyond mind, beyond speech, beyond description. So as a human being with a mind, it's very difficult to seek Brahman other than being taught or being told. And in your description of who an adhikari is, you have said mumukshatvam, desire for seeking something. So it's hard to seek something that you don't know anything about.
No, but we do. Last 3 days we know a lot now.
I understand that, but how do you develop, great desire for God, so that you can get out of worldly activities that drag you all the time, and turn your head towards wanting this as the main thing in your life?
Sri Ramakrishna said, Vaidhi Bhakti leads to Raganuga Bhakti, which means the real Bhakti, actually falling in love with God. Once you do that, it's done. Nothing more needs to be done in path of Bhakti. But suppose I really don't have that love for God. Then he says, follow the prescriptive Bhakti. So much japa, so much puja. If you keep on doing that with nishtha, it will come. If you pray for it, see, one may not have intense desire for God. As Swami Ashokanji says, you can simulate it. What would it be like to feel intense love of God?
But that still seems kind of...
All right. We may not honestly say, I really crave God, I really want God. That we may not be able to say honestly. But we can all here, all of us honestly can say, we want God. We want to love God. I wish I could love God as much. We all want to, we want to say that. That's good enough. We will get it at one time. Until then, sadhana.
Swami T said that only life's blows, if you can't do what you have said, that life's blows will take you there. I'm trying to see
So what I'm saying is an easier path than that. If I don't have intense love of God, see, one cannot command one to have intense love of God. In Vedanta, Brahma Jigyasa, the desire to Jigyasa is the desire to know God, desire to know. Brahma Jigyasa Kartavya, one should desire to know. But how can you say should and desire in the same sentence? It's like saying, you can say should eat, you should eat that. But can you say you should be hungry? How can I be hungry? Either I am hungry or I am not hungry. But I can eat. If I tell you to do something and do it. But this feeling, this emotion, this desire, that I cannot, it's not under my control. So desire for self-realization, or in the case of bhakti, intense love of God. Either I have it or I don't have it. Now, the way to get it, if I don't have it, is to do sadhana, is to keep seeking. Because we have some of it at least. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. So keep doing sadhana, stay on the path, it will come slowly. And carefully cleanse oneself. The more I scrape off the mud, the more the magnet will attract the iron needle. This iron needle is covered in mud. The more I scrape it off, the more the magnet will attract it. If that I don't do, then what Swami T said is very right. Kicks and blows. Internally, if I don't take charge and try to move towards God, God will do it for me. But then God's ways can be very harsh.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Swami, so Adi Shankara is the avatar of Lord Shiva.
Yes.
So when he has taken avatar as Shiva, so he was attacked by a couple of people. At the time, Shiva used his Purusha Shakti, which is Narayan, and then he has saved through his disciple, and then he has killed. He has taken the one of the 10 avatars of Vishnu, and then he has saved him. Another time, so in Kashmir, so Pandits did a lot of mischievous acts, and then he has got skin disease. So at the time, he allowed him to suffer. When he was Shiva, you should have saved him at the same time. Then when he was praying, then he said, okay, go and pray to my son, Kartikeya. Then he has chanted in the name of Kartikeya. So he has created Subramanya Pujangam. Then he has formed another worship, Kaumaram. So one point, he has saved on the same time. So Lord Narasimha appeared. Second time, he allowed him to suffer. He got skin disease. Then finally, through his Leela, he saved. So, as avatar of Shiva, you should have saved him at the same time. So, one time, spontaneously he appeared. Second time, even though he was Shiva, he has come here for the welfare of the mankind. He allowed him to suffer. So, how we can, understand this
We
Leela?
should not say he should have done this. But who are we to say? Yeah. Shiva is not performing up to par. He should be put on, what is it called? PIP. PIP. Yeah. Performance improvement. She would put Shiva on PIP then. Yeah. No, we cannot say that. It's all Leela. It's exactly the same thing happened to Swami Vivekananda. He was cursed by a fakir in Kashmir, I think. I have forgotten the exact incident. Told to leave the place, otherwise you will get serious illness. And he got serious stomach trouble. And nothing cured it, and it took quite some time to get cured. When he long time later, he came back to Bengal, he met the Holy Mother. He said, I've lost faith in your Ramakrishna. Why? From this simple fakir who has some special powers, he couldn't save me from that one. What? You're talking about avatar and... So, Holy Mother, she smiled and said, Vidya Mantaha, one must respect knowledge. That means that person had some supernatural powers, some kind of siddhis. Meaning those siddhis are also powers of the Divine Mother. If she wants, she can retract those powers.
Okay.
If she does not want, they will take effect. You cannot demand that God will do this or not do that.
The same thing happened to even Ramanuja also, the same in Kashmir. Then
Yes. Kashmir is always problematic. No, at that time, for a long time, for centuries, Kashmir was the hub of development of Shaivism, Vedanta, Kashmiri Shaivism, of Shaktaism, worship of the Divine Mother, and Buddhism also. Some Tibetan lamas and philosophers, they used to regularly visit Kashmir they would have regular interchange. If you see exchanges philosophically, if you see Utpala Deva's Ishvara Pratyavigya Vimarshini, many of the debates are being conducted with the Buddhists coming from Tibet.
I see.
And the texts which they are referring to, the Kashmiri Shaivites, are almost contemporary texts in Tibetan Buddhism. So that means they were in continuous cultural interaction. So there's no doubt, it's not surprising all these interactions happened in Kashmir.
I see.
Pranam Swamiji. Thank you so much for the retreat. I think it helped me a lot in terms of deepening the understanding. My question is on the conception of God. You spoke about the 4 concepts of God. So, and one of that is the Nirguna Brahman you talked about. So, is it so till we reach a stage of actually realizing our nature as Nirguna Brahman, we can still conceptualize Nirguna Brahman as the other and worship as a God. So, I'm understanding that as a concept. So, if my tendency is towards that, how do I understand the Avatara concept?
Same, like the Saguna Brahman, Shiva, appeared as the avatar Dakshinamurti and taught the sages. Similarly, God has appeared. Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda said, Kali worked up the body of Ramakrishna for her ends. I am convinced of it. These are his exact words. So Sri Ramakrishna is the avatar of Kali. As that same God appearing in a human form in our human history for some time and doing the Leela, teaching us, maybe destroying asuras or whatnot, whatever the Leela is. That is the Avatara. And that avatar has the same powers as Saguna Brahman. The difference between the avatar and other spiritual masters is very great. Other spiritual masters can bless us, can teach us. But avatar can actually change our karma. So what we do not deserve, we can get it in this lifetime. Otherwise, without the help of the avatar, one will progress spiritually by the grace of the Guru. God is always there, will help us, but it might take a much longer time. We have to do sadhana, gradually purify ourselves, and then go from level to level until we attain Brahmajnana. But the avatar, just like that, can do the whole job for us, if the avatar is gracious. So it is always a good idea to hold on to the avatar.
Thank you so much.
In whichever form, whichever avatar, whatever you are pulled towards.
Thank you.
Next, should I give another talk? Yes. So the takeaway, I was just thinking about it, takeaways. You take away 3 things from here, from Star Lake. One is the lake. The second is this, the Chin Mudra. Third is silence. So what do we take away? The lake. When we see in the lake the beautiful reflection of the forest, and we realize wherever there is a reflection, there is a forest, there is a lake. It must be there. Whatever and wherever and whenever we experience in life, whatever is going on, whoever, there must be this consciousness. Dakshinamurti is there. It has to be. Without that, no experience is possible. Second, that whatever appears in the lake, it's an appearance because actually it's just water. Whatever appears in life is an appearance because actually it is just pure consciousness, it is Dakshinamurti, it is God. Third, the lake is not affected by what is reflected in the lake. The mirror is not affected by the city in the mirror. Similarly, you, pure awareness, Dakshinamurti, you are not affected by what appears in you. Nothing in our life, nobody in our life, no incident, no problem, trauma, good, bad, whatever happens, leaves a scratch on you. You are ever luminous. That's third. Fourth, the lake is non-dual with respect to what is reflected in the lake. That means there is no second thing in the lake. Though hundreds of trees and thousands of leaves may appear in the lake, it is just one water. So the lake water is non-dual. There is no second thing in it. Similarly, Dakshinamurti, pure consciousness is non-dual. You are non-dual. There is no second thing apart from the real you. It is God and God only. So that's the takeaway from the lake. First takeaway. If that's too much to remember, then just remember this. Sometimes in the middle of crisis, this. That all our problems, whatever the crisis present in front of you right now, it relates to the physical body or the physical world, or it relates to the mind and the mental world, or it is some kind of seed, some kind of unconscious seed in the causal body. None of them are you. You are awareness, the witness of all of them. It is not you. No more than a TV serial affects you or a cinema affects you, what you are witnessing in these three, it does not affect you. So you are this. If you feel affected, you are like this. If you feel you are the witness of all these things going on, then you are like this. This much I can promise. The minimum that can happen to us is that, yes, there will be the storm going on, but there will be a center of calm within the storm. Everybody can notice it if you do this. In the middle of the storm. Social storm, financial storm, political storm, physical health storm, mental storm. Ultimately, serious problem is the mental storm. In all of them, you are like this. Immediately become like this. If you feel, when will you apply it? The moment you are in trouble. It's a wake-up call. If I am in trouble, if I am suffering, if I am struggling, then be sure you are like this. You have to become like this. That's the second takeaway. Even more, emergency measure. No time to apply this also. Problem. Then silence. Swami Bhuteshanandaji, 12th President of our order, he was a very slow man. Everything do very slowly, speak, move. He reminded me of Mark Twain, who said, somebody told him, hurry up, hurry up. Mark Twain said, I have only two speeds, this and slower. Which one do you want? So Swami Bhuteshanji said, and this I heard from a senior monk. Swami Bhuteshanji said, if you are in great stress, trouble, problems are going on right now, first thing you do is slow down physically. Don't be physically frantic. Sit down. Or if you're doing something, do it very slowly. Physically, speech, and mentally also. Slow down. Slow down how? Silence. Imagine that the world has disappeared. The world outside this room, wherever you are, the world is nobody is there, nothing is there. Sitting quietly and still, there is nothing to see, nothing to hear, smell, taste, touch. Nothing to feel, it's neutral. Nothing to remember, all memory has gone away. I don't even remember my own name. Everything has gone away. Nothing to understand. Mind is silent. I am not waiting for anything to happen. I do not want anything also. I do not lack anything also. In that deep silence, to whom or to what is this silence appearing? That deep silence is also an experience. What is experiencing that deep silence? Who is? I am. What kind of I? Who am experiencing the deep silence? That I am. Then gently open your eyes back to the world. That I is still here. It is the one experiencing this world. That I which is silence itself, a luminous silence. That I which does not lack anything at all. That I which does not desire anything. It does not fear anything. It is not waiting for anything also. It's complete in itself. That I am here now. Now let me deal with the world. So 3 takeaways. Lake with the 4 features. Adhisthana, Asanga, Adhisthana, Lake Satya, reflection Mithya, falsity of the appearance. Then Asanga, unattached. The water of the lake is not affected by anything in the lake. Reflection. And then Advaitam, 4 features of the lake. Non-duality. Ground of all experience, the reality of all experience, unattached to all experience, and non-dual in all experience. Then the second takeaway is this. Immediately detach yourself, become the witness of the physical, subtle, and causal. I am the witness. Notice. Then see, no problem in yourself. Problem is there outside, storm. Then last one is silence. No world, no body, no memories, no mind, no emotions, no intellect, no Vedanta, no God, nothing. And that deep, deep silence is also observed by something. Then that light which observes the silence, open your eyes and look back upon the world with that light. Aurobindo's beautiful evocative lines. The world drowned in the white glare of an immortal gaze. The world drowned in the white glare of an immortal gaze. What is that immortal gaze? Pure consciousness. Take away. This is to go. Yeah, I had to learn that when I first came to America. In the shops, they would ask, tea or coffee, here or to go? I thought, what is this here or to go? So until now it is here. And this one, which we just did now, is to go.